The selected setting for this observational case study is the Foster and Black Cafe, which is situated within the Carindale Shopping Centre. The setting also includes the neighbouring retail stores. This includes well-known commercial stores such as City Beach, Hype, and David Jones. I underwent 3 observations of the selected setting to capture a range of conditions, users, and activities. The first was Monday the 10th of August at 1 p.m. until 3 p.m. It was a sunny day and the centre was not busy, just like the cafe and retail stores. Subjects at the start of the observation tended to be elderly people who perhaps are retired. Towards the end of the session, kids started to come in their school uniforms. The second day was Thursday the 13th of August at 6:30 p.m. until 7:30 p.m. Thursday night shopping was also quiet as the cafe was closed and possible COVID-19 restrictions having impact on people. The subjects range from teens to adults undergoing retail shopping or finishing work for the day. The third day was Saturday the 15th of August at 11 a.m. until 11:30 a.m. It was a sunny day outside and very busy within the cafe and retail stores. Subjects range primarily of families and younger people to adults. Some of the immediate features to point out within this setting is the seating options in front of the cafe and also the more sheltered seating options to the side, the kids' toy car, a limited number of plants, and the official table and seating area for the cafe. It is also seen evident that the cafe is just a small portion of the setting, measuring at 5 by 6 metres, while the walkways on either side are just 7.5 metres wide. Yet these walkways are slim and hard to negotiate. Due to the furniture layout and position of the cafe, it is very clear to navigate how to move through the setting. The setting is very intense at first glance. This is primarily due to the lighting and sounds. The lighting within the setting is very bright, as numerous lights are held within the ceiling, and also the shop fronts have flashing lights. The cafe itself glows from the bottom. Pairing this with the noise within the setting could cause an uncomfortable situation for the average person. Each retail store plays loud music, which is easily heard from the walkways. Meanwhile, the walkways has its own music. The ventilation within the setting is limited. The temperature is cool on the skin, which is comfortable, but the air feels stale. There is a range of hard, harsh materials within the setting. This includes the hard tile to walk on where you can hear your own footsteps, to the hard walls made of fibre cement. The colours of these materials are very bland and gives the feeling of a man-made space, not natural. Undergoing Ziesel's observation list, it was evident that this setting is forever changing and also forever being used by the public and workers. This is evident due to the markings seen on the tiles on both sides of the cafe. This shows byproducts that heavy flows of people are moving through the area. This could also be signs of elderly people using wheelchairs or kids using scooters or skateboards. This is also paired with rubbish found on the ground. Currently, due to the COVID-19 restrictions, the kids' toy car is currently out of order. Additionally, the cafe's only seating and table area is out of use. Therefore, people are having to collect their coffees and keep moving. Within the Brunswick probabilistic functionalism theory, the perceiver must make sense of the most important cues to function effectively in a setting. Through using this theory, some of the first cues people would notice would be the number of people, the number of plants, amount of litter, seating capacity, light availability, and the level of sound. This leads to proximal cues of the space, such as crowded and noisy, which in turn gives a perceived beauty of overwhelming, for instance. The PAD emotional state model views emotion as a mediator between the environment and personality, and behavior as the outcome. Based upon the selected setting, the result of this model would lead to an alarm feeling, a balance between high arousal and displeasure. The first observation made regarding comfort, safety, and performance is that every single person seemed to know where to go without confusion. According to Gifford in 2007, informed by Lynch in 1960, spatial cognition can be explained by 2 different factors: individual differences and the physical setting. In this situation, the physical setting has no signs or arrows for how people should maneuver through the space. Additionally, there is no signs for where to order at the cafe, yet these walkways are slim and hard to negotiate. Due to the setup of the cafe regarding furniture and negative space, people can easily see where to go. This consequently makes the setting very accessible, including for elderly access and disabled access. however, also very crowded, which will be addressed shortly. The next observation made was that due to the bright lights within the setting and the glare caused by the void space just behind the cafe, and pair this with the loud music coming from the neighbouring retail stores, nobody decided to sit down with a beverage next to the cafe. Instead, they continued walking. This is likely due to the fact that the conditions within the site do not suit the normal, relaxed cafe vibe. According to Clements Kroom in 2011, factors such as comfort, safety, performance, health, and well-being make up our physiological behavior. In this situation, aspects like light and lighting and acoustics are impacting the person's behavior and decision-making when it comes to where they consume their beverage. A psychological observation is that not a single person decided to stop and drink their coffee in the setting. They decided to take it with them. As stated before, it could be due to the comfort reasons as the setting did not offer this, but a psychological and psychosocial approach is that the seating arrangement was too limited but also very open, which was encouraging socializing. As stated by Uselwerder and Blom in 2007, when people are unable to choose their seat in a certain environment, their self-determination and autonomy is reduced and their choice and control of an environment and situation is impacted, leading to possible discomfort. The next observation made was that when people did sit down on the available seating, when there was more than one person on the chair, their body language would face away from each other. According to Gosling in 2008, theorists in psychology have long recognized that individuals select and create their social environments to match and reinforce their dispositions, preferences, attitudes, and self-views. Looking further into this theory, people with personality types which are introverted would like to face away from someone when sitting. The seating options in the setting, however, do not give the option for privacy unless the user goes out of their way to do so. The last observation relating more so to personalization is the smell of coffee. Many people were recorded walking up and down the walkways for shopping purposes. However, when walking past the cafe, would stop for a coffee. This is likely due to the strong smell which was present in the setting, which people could not resist. According to Blom and Monk in 2003, personalization is the process that changes the functionality, interface, information content, or distinctiveness of a system to increase its personal relevance to the individual. In this situation, the setting was customized with a cafe, which is tailored to attract people. The first psychosocial observation is that people were very careful about making their space known. In other words, territoriality. The main citing was people using their own objects, such as bags or shopping trolleys, as a preventative for people to come into their space, essentially making a barrier people cannot cross. This is known as preventative defenses. This correlates with creating personal space, and in particular, solitude personal space. This is when you are trying to be alone in the midst of others. All of this is a direct result of the space being crowded. According to Cassidy in 1997, the antecedents of crowding is the physical setting, the nature of it, the socio-cultural setting, the number of people within the small setting, and personal characteristics. This can lead to feelings of worried and therefore behaviours or preventative defences. The second observation made is how people respected the personal space of others when in the queue for the cafe. As seen in the photo, each person gave the person in front about 1.5 metres. According to Cassidy in 1997, there are two types of influential factors when it comes to personal space: personal and social. For this situation, social is more important. As similarity and pleasantness of manner increase, personal space decreases. However, customers for the cafe are not familiar with each other. Another reason could possibly be fear. People choose larger distances when they feel worried. As seen, the current setting may be intense or overwhelming for the average person. There is also no chance of social distancing. I have designed an upper-level escape room for people to hang out. The David Jones entry has been made smaller and replaced with a stairwell to upstairs. This upstairs space will predominantly be a seating area for the cafe, but also welcome shoppers. It will be an outside space, so it will get great ventilation. It will be away from the bright flashing lights and loud noises. Therefore, it's a great opportunity for some personal space and privacy, and a great way to social distance. The space is also under a shading device for comfortability reasons. The applied theory for this concept is the COM-B model by West and colleagues. The behaviour to social distance comes down to three factors: capability, opportunity, and motivation. Capability is understanding the importance of social distancing during the pandemic, and motivation refers to the need to social distance. The new design space is a new opportunity. The new spatial layout makes this possible.